Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is the week in review. I apologize for that, everybody. I think I'm still recovering a little bit from COVID, but I'm feeling a lot better than I was when this started. And as far as things being better or worse and anything in between, how was this week in the world of wrestling? For me, here's the thing. Did I see anything really offensive this week? Not that I recollect, so either I'm suppressing it or it just didn't happen. It also didn't hurt that I didn't watch any Impact this week, because that probably would have gotten my blood boiling. Um, on the other hand, though, it was an eventful week. I mean, WWE did more cleaning out. A lot of releases, some that I was genuinely shocked by, and others that I was absolutely giddy about. Looking at you, Matt Riddle. And as far as content goes, I mean, it happened. SmackDown seemed pretty uneventful from what I saw in the YouTube clips. Austin Theory is trying to start something with The Rock, and I'm just sitting here like they've had you interact with Stone Cold, John Cena, and now The Rock, and nobody gives a shit. Like, it's a wash, dude. It's over. It's never been more over than it is right now. Lashley gave a tongue lashing to the Street Profits. I'm hoping that this isn't WWE's way of just scrapping it and finding other people, because I really think those three together, Lashley and the Street Profits, would be fucking amazing. But they lost to, if you can believe it, LWO. But that's because it was Santos Daddy Bar and Rey Mysterio. So I guess it makes a bit more sense. And then Raw, I barely even remember what happened there. It was Raw, it exists. And NXT, I really didn't even pay any mind to this week. And AEW, I watched a little bit of and I hated it. So there you go. So let's kick it over to Ashton, my cohort and commentary here. Partner, how did you feel about this week in the world of wrestling?
By all means, this should be the shortest episode of TwitWoW Week in Review that we've done yet. We've done 42 of these. This is number 43, and this should be number 43 out of 43 if you would sort this series by timestamp, because I don't have much, if anything, to say about much at all this week. And I don't have any big rants to go on. I barely paid attention to Dynamite. I barely paid attention to Collision. I didn't even tune into Rampage. Actually, I lie. I did tune into Rampage, but again, I barely paid attention to it. Raw and SmackDown this week were kind of mid. I think I watched some NXT. Like, it was just I think I'm just at the point that I'm ready to say that I'm not really that big of a wrestling fan anymore. I'm just kind of a Joshi fan, and that's kind of it.
I I think I've been there with you for a while. I've made no secret about my relationship with pro wrestling, especially that I've gotten older now and I have other interests in my life that I'd want to give more interest to than a company that has just slapped me in the face repeatedly in WWE, a company that might even be worse in some respects in AEW. And Impact, I mean, my God, I didn't even think I could get that angry at pro wrestling anymore. And then Impact is like, oh, hold my Bully Ray and PCO feud. Um, I will say, because you were mainly just whatever about this week, and I was the same. The biggest story, obviously, is the releases. Do you have anything you want to say
Yeah.
about the releases, like in this forum, that maybe we
Honestly,
haven't
for
already
me,
said?
I'm just fucking stunned that the WWE, of all places, the place that prides itself on being entertainment and making movies and putting smiles on people's faces, couldn't figure out what to do with Rick Boogs and Elias. How in the blue hell?
Dude, Elias especially, because I like Rick Boogs, but Elias, you're talking about a guy that came in to me as like a ready-made package to at the very least be that solid mid-carder for the entirety of his WWE career. And like he wasn't even really that. I think the only championship he ever won was the 24/7 championship. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, and the dude was solid in the ring, had an amazing look. If you don't believe me, we could just ask your mom every goddamn week when he was
Well,
on
dude, here's
TV
the
at
thing.
her
I
age.
feel like, because you mentioned him being solid in the ring, I feel like we always praise Baron Corbin as being a guy that is, like, not overly exciting in the ring, but he's really safe in the ring, and he can put on good matches with good opponents. I feel like Elias is in that exact same bag, in that exact same bucket.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
like crank the charisma up to 1 billion compared to Corbin, and Corbin's kept his job. Corbin's still around.
Yeah, he is. It's actually kind of amazing when you think about the people that didn't make the cut, mainly Elias and Ziggler, because before people step in and say Matt Riddle, I mean, that guy had a lot of enemies backstage, I feel like, and he really didn't endear himself to anybody. But Ziggler, I think after a while just got worn down and he's like, you know what? I'm never going to be that guy. And I could either just, kick rocks and complain or whatever, or I could take the steady income and I could do the best with it. And to his credit, he did. I've even heard some great stories about Ziggler this week, that he really helped indie wrestlers during the pandemic, buying a lot of their merch and financially supporting them. That's a class fucking act. I will even take this opportunity to apologize, even though I know he'll never hear this, to Dolph Ziggler, because I remember that time on Twitter when I was feeling saucy and I just wanted to randomly tweet at wrestlers. And I said, hey, Dolph, you suck. To which he expertly clapped back at me, and I will take this L. Thanks for the follow, because I actually was inadvertently following him on Twitter. So well played, Dolph. Well played. But yeah, like you're talking about those two guys especially in Ziggler and who the fuck else did I mention? Because I didn't say Riddle. Well, Ali's another one too. Ali's another one. Like these guys that are just so solid that can do anything you ask of them. And yeah, Corbin, who isn't bad, like what he's good at, I'd say he's good enough at, but just no charisma and a proven anti-draw. So you really do kind of scratch your head. Yeah, anything else about any of the other releases, or just any general thoughts you have?
Surprisingly enough, those were the two main. Dude, here's my thing. Like, you're kind of focusing more on Elias and Dolph Ziggler, so I'm gonna go to bat for Rick Boogs. This dude was over as fuck. Blew out his knee because his muscles were too strong for his tendons. Came back to a huge pop and has done literally nothing since. And it's not because he hasn't wanted to do anything. They haven't given him anything to do. And like, you know what? Maybe I do have a rant in me because apparently Mansoor had a Twitch stream this week after getting released where he talked about some of the ideas that he pitched, that he and Mace even, or I guess you could say Mansoor and Masse, Maximum Male Models, that they were pitching to creative for them to get on TV again. And they kept getting shut down. And it really makes you realize that it doesn't fucking matter what you do as an individual talent. No matter how hard you work, no matter how creative you are, how many ideas you pitch, it just doesn't fucking matter what you do as an individual talent, at least in WWE, unless they decide on their own merits that you are worth featuring on television. Because if they have not decided that on their own, you can pitch all the ideas in the world. You can be in the best shape of your life. You can look like a fucking megastar. It does not matter unless they have already decided that they are ready to put you on TV. Because these guys they were pitching ideas constantly to try and get back on TV. Mace is built like a fucking brick shithouse. Mansoor literally has a built-in fan base. I'm shocked that they released him because of the Saudi deal. Apparently, he couldn't wrestle in NXT because he's not allowed to lose matches because of the Saudi deal or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on that. But, like, Mansoor is a damn fine wrestler. He's a great talker, very charismatic. He's got a great look. He literally looks like a Middle Eastern version of Seth Rollins, for fuck's sakes. Mace is huge. Look, Mace got a pop for standing up to Brock Lesnar at one point on commentary. And these guys are creative, obviously. They're constantly pitching ideas. And creative's just like, no, I think not. And it just really makes you realize, like, damn, nothing matters except for what creative's whims decide. That's it.
I think you're 1,000% right. I really don't have anything to add that wouldn't be redundant. I would just say that I would hope these releases, like other releases in WWE's past show that the idea of the culture being meritocratic, being in the sense of like, advocate for yourself, be self-determining in that way, come with the gimmicks, come with the ideas, and just make your own opportunities. It's bullshit. You
Yeah.
you can make your
We
own
can now
opportunities. Yeah.
basically disprove at every step of what WWE, Vince McMahon, and their sycophants want you to believe that they're wrong. Basically, like, oh, if you want to be on TV, you need to be your own creative. You need to be pitching ideas. You need to be coming up with characters. We already know that's not true now because we just have an example here of people doing that and not getting any opportunities despite it. Um, if you're on TV, you need to get over. We already have plenty of proof of that, of people getting over on their own and being, rather than being rewarded for that, they get punished for it. Zack Ryder being the premium example, but there are plenty of other examples too. Like, there is so much evidence at this point that in the WWE, if you are not chosen beforehand by the creative team and the people in charge, it does not matter what you do, you will never advance past where they want you to be. Period.
Yeah, I think that was succinctly said and emphatically so. I agree 1000%. I mean, and then you look at other people that survive the cuts. Like I saw that Karrion Cross put out a teaser that he might be doing something with Cena. I don't know because he had like that
I don't
black and
buy
white
that.
filter during Cena's entrance, and he kind of cut away to him like kind of watching it. Now I don't know. Who's to say, right? On one hand, I kind of doubt it. On the other hand, though, it seems like they really do want Karrion Cross to be a thing, and I just don't think it's ever gonna fucking happen. But you talking about Mason Boogs, I will talk about those guys very briefly because again, this might be the most extended segment we have, just given that this week was pretty middling. I don't think either one of us really has that much to say. Um, I mean, yeah, Boogs was fantastic. I mean, I wish he had gotten more of an extended NXT run, honestly, because I wanted to really see that guy develop a character, grow, do things. I loved his first theme. High blood pressure or
Blood
whatever it was
pressure,
called.
yeah.
There are days still that I'll jam out to that fucking theme. That's like one of my favorite themes of the newer era. Then the stuff with Nakamura, I feel like was fantastic, and we could have seen more of that from him. I even told you during our gaming session last night that I'm amazed they never tried pairing him with Alpha Academy. Now, in a way, maybe that wouldn't have been the best idea because Boogs is such a large personality, but so is Chad Gable, to both of their credit. But I don't know if and Otis certainly isn't lacking in charisma either. So I don't know if you get too many cooks in the kitchen in that way. But even so, it's just the idea. Like, I can't believe you just gave up on this guy so quickly when I feel like he had so much upside. I used to tell you all the time that I feel like this guy was the very best of like an 80s wrestler, all the color, all the pop with like none of the baggage. I mean, I've seen this dude play fucking guitar on Twitter videos while lifting weights. I've also seen the dude play the guitar, I think, naked in the shower. And
Yes.
like it's fucking over though. Like
Dude,
it's
I'm
over.
telling you, if you would give me one wish, like literally, if you could summon a genie, but it wasn't one of those three wish genies, it was a one wish genie, and I could only have one wish, but it had to relate to somebody that was just released by WWE. My one singular wish would be for Rick Boogs to go to New Japan. That is the one wish that I want. That is the one thing that I want because power wrestlers get over in New Japan and foreigners with charisma get over in New Japan, and Rick Boogs checks both those boxes in a major way. I feel like he has so much potential, and if he would go to New Japan, he would get over so quickly. Like you thought Juice Robinson was over in New Japan, Rick Boogs would be over more than Juice Robinson ever was within 3 months, in my opinion.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. There is part of me that definitely agrees with you. There is another part of me though that has paused just because of the Juice experience. Because I love Juice and the crowd really loved Juice too at one point. And New Japan was like, US title. Just that's your lane. However, Boogs is just this unfettered explosion of
Yes,
charisma.
that's what. Well, first of
And
all, if Rick Boogs went to New Japan and his ceiling was the U.S. title, I think he and I know that I would even be happy with that. I'd be stoked for him to get to that point because
yeah,
he never got there or even close to there in WWE. Never got. He's never won any championships in his career, as far as I'm aware. So
yeah,
that would be his first ever championship in wrestling. Period. End of story. Because he didn't wrestle again, as far as I'm aware, before going to the performance center. He was a completely fresh recruit, I believe.
yes.
So the fact that you're saying like, oh, he goes to New Japan and he only gets the U.S. title, I'm like, well, shit, that's really exciting for him. That's really cool. And like, and even to take it a step further, I think you look at him and you look at Juice, and it's like, I don't know, maybe, I mean, maybe New Japan might be willing to push him more as a main eventer because of the size and because of the bulk. Because
True.
Juice
Yeah.
has got a leaner frame, you know. Juice, maybe New Japan sees Juice and they see him as a guy that doesn't have a main event level look.
And that could be, man. That could absolutely be. I will not deny that. I do hope that this isn't the end of Boogs' wrestling career. That's gonna be up to him to decide. But man, that's a lot of talent left on the table by WWE. And just to speak about Mace very quickly too,
Yeah.
because I've given him some thought. I won't say like a lot of thought, but you know, that dude was a behemoth and he had a great fucking look too. And I feel like he never really got a chance to shine. I was really looking for him to have his what you might call his Dijakovic moment, where he got to have that match with just whoever, where he really got to show out. But no, it just never happened for him. And I have to say too, because I feel like, and again, I think this is something you already kind of touched upon. I just want to emphasize it because you have more casual fans like my boy Angel. Now, obviously, he didn't say anything wrong or anything. I don't want to take anybody to task, but he's like, oh, I think they're getting ready to pay The Rock a lot of money and that these releases were just to save up some money. That's the excuse a company will always use, like, oh, we're just saving, we're tightening the budget. They've been doing record numbers. The money they're probably making right now is insane. I'd love to put a number to it, but when you're reading about ticket sales and meeting certain gates like 10 months ahead of certain pay-per-views and all that shit, the money's fucking good right now. And even if it wasn't at its best, it's still WWE. I feel like there would have always been money to pay a guy like The Rock if they wanted to do anything extensively. So no, this was just we're not doing anything with these people, and rather than pay them out the remainder of their contracts, or maybe the contracts are just up, we're gonna let them go. Which I mean, fair enough. I don't think these people want to
Fellas,
wallow away in obscurity either. But it's just amazing to me that you couldn't find anything for these guys. And lastly, to touch on Ali, just fucking wow. It's just wow. Because I mean, this guy wanted to be released. You could have given it to him right then. Then somebody must talk to him or something must have happened because he ended up in NXT. He's building something there. I think he's getting over in NXT. I'm fully expecting him to be the one to beat Dominic Mysterio for the North American Championship, and then he's just gone. I feel like you wasted his time. You wasted everybody's fucking time. And I do feel a certain way about that because I feel like his fans, I feel so bad for Ali's fans, man. Because between the one push he was supposed to get when Brian was champion, then injury stopped that, and then when you thought Money in the Bank was going to happen, and fucking Brock Lesnar comes out and shits on that moment, and then you get this NXT kind of revival where he's doing his own creative stuff again, and he's winning, and it's like, oh man, maybe finally this is the one, and he gets released before No Mercy, where he was supposed to face Dom for the North American title. So yeah, I don't know what he does now. Maybe Impact, possibly, much like Trinity. I would say that they don't deserve him. AEW, I mean, that's a fucking wash for us. I know that. Yeah, I feel especially bad for him, man. Talk about a career that should have done a hell of a lot more than what it got to do. And just, yeah, just unbelievable how they fucking squandered him too.
I mean, dude,
So,
here's the thing, right? Like we talk about Lucha Underground a lot. I think Lucha Underground is probably the best wrestling promotion that we've ever gotten to cover on this channel. It's the most fun that I've ever had with wrestling on this channel. I think that if anything like Lucha Underground were ever to spring up, they could very easily make Mustafa Ali into their Prince Puma. He could be the face of a promotion in my mind.
oh my dude, 100 fucking percent.
Yeah,
With his
that's the kind of guy
charisma,
that could
yeah.
carry a promotion, not only from an on-screen perspective, but even from a locker room backstage perspective. He gives locker room leader vibes hard.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I mean, the only good cop in human history because he fucking quit. And has this personality for fucking days and an amazing fucking look. God, that dude's fucking handsome.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. I didn't get some of these releases. The only one again that I was fucking giddy about was Matt Riddle. Thank
And that was the
Christ he's
last
gone.
one. Like that one came out separately after all the other ones. Like the dust had settled.
Exactly, exactly. I really don't know what he does now. I don't know if he just kind of maybe he'll become a podcast bro or something and just do his own podcast or whatever. Because I don't even know if wrestling.
I wouldn't be
May,
surprised if he went to Japan. I mean, I don't know if he still smokes a lot, if he's still like really into the weed stuff, but if he has chilled out on that at all and he can resist for a while, I think he could make one hell of a career in Japan because we know that New Japan specifically and other companies in Japan too really do not give a fuck about allegations that you've caught in the US and elsewhere. They really don't
that
care.
is true. That is true. Yeah, because we've
So,
seen it.
yeah,
We've absolutely seen it.
right.
Um.
So,
So yeah,
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up in Japan. I saw some dude that's in Noah tweeted him saying we should team up, bro, or something like that. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he ended up in Japan. But again, like, the weed is a far more taboo in Japan than it is here in the U.S.
yeah. It's amazing things they'll overlook, and it's like, oh, I occasionally like some grass. Get the fuck out, kind
Yeah,
of thing. Um, yeah, it's a shame. I mean, there was a period where I loved Matt Riddle and really thought he was the future of the business. I'm like, this guy is fucking him. That was
PWG
the energy from him.
baby.
PWG, and I was really psyched about him. And then he turned out to be what he was.
Yep.
And it's like, well, that's fucking great. Um, yeah, nothing really else. I mean, Aaliyah, I could see an impact so easily. I think she'd actually be a good fit for them
Honestly,
because of,
Aaliyah is one of those talents where is she gonna put on 5-star women's matches with anyone? No, but can she put on a solid match, a solid filler match with just about anyone? Does she look good to sell tickets and merch? Yes. She'll fit on any roster. If Tony Khan wants her, he can have her. If he doesn't, I'm sure Impact will scoop her up. I don't
well,
think
that's
that
what I'm saying,
I
man.
don't
Like,
think that her ending
yeah.
up with Stardom would be a horrible tragedy either, and that might actually be really good for her career too. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
I mean, Stardom's hot right now. Look, I mean, I feel like I should give Impact something because I've really shit on them at every opportunity. The
I thought we
knockouts
were
seem to
just
be the
giving Impact Elias. I thought that was a given. I feel like we kind of talked about that.
I mean, possibly. But yeah, I mean, I do think the one thing Impact does well, certainly better than AEW seemingly, is the knockouts division and how they're booking the women. And I just feel like Aaliyah, especially if you find a tag partner for her, knockouts tag champion Aaliyah and whoever, I think it'd be a good fit for her. Don't really have anything to say about Dabakato, although again, that's kind of a surprise they let him slip through the cracks. Um, Also surprised again when you look at a Shanky
Dabba-Kato's
got
going to
released.
show up in NWA in a decade and win their title.
Oh my god. I hate how on point that is. Shanky got released. I'm surprised Jinder's still on the payroll, because he's just seemingly so limited in the ring, but whatever, I guess. Yeah, I really don't think I have anything else to say about the releases. If you do, we could just very quickly get through this week in the world of wrestling and go home.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's finish it out.
I really have nothing to say about anything. I mean, AJ Styles got taken out, so John Cena currently doesn't have a partner for Fastlane. I tweeted about it. To me, the top two candidates right now are people have pointed out to me, including you, Ashton. LA Knight, which I think definitely has to be
I think
considered.
if
I
LA
also
Knight can get cleared of COVID and he can test negative in time for Fastlane, he is probably who they intended it to be. Because from what I understand, he was supposed to interrupt the ending segment of SmackDown last night, but because he tested positive for COVID, he couldn't. So
right.
it seems like he is the one that they were intending for Cena's partner to be. If it's not him, though, I really don't know who it would be.
I'm still sticking by Cody Rhodes as an alternative answer,
Yeah, that
just
would
because
make sense because of the whole like, oh, Jay Uso to Raw, Cody gets traded to SmackDown in return kind of thing. Yeah, that would clear.
because he's not done with the tribal chief. He's got to finish the story. I hate myself.
I hate
All right.
that. I don't. I would never hate you, but I do hate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that happened. Io Asuka seemed fine. I just, like, even with that, I hate to be that guy, but I have to complain a little bit. Like, Charlotte
What?
coming out and making it about her, like, sitting at ringside watching it. And Bailey doing cheaty things, like, helping Io get her foot on the rope. Like, I get that it's damage control when it's a faction, and maybe Io didn't even like it as a character. I just wanted those two to straight up have a match. But you know what? That's on me because we have to remember that this is on TV. And I think you're only going to get close to that when it's on a pay per view.
I did love that
Um,
afterwards. I think it was like a social media thing. Bailey cut a promo on Charlotte always having to stick her nose into championship situations, even though she has nothing to do with
God, Bailey's so right. Fuck you, Charlotte, forever. Um,
Dakota even made a noise at the end, like, oh, and I was like,
yeah.
yes, Dakota, yes.
I already kind of vented my frustration about the whole Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits thing. Street
Yeah.
Profits losing to LWO. It's like, come on, y'all. What are we doing? Oh yeah, by the way,
Come on, y'all.
yeah, Shelton. Shelton was another one that got released. Always liked Shelton, so I hope he lands on his feet as well. I could actually see him. You talk about Japan. Let's remember Shelton is a former Suzuki-gun member. He might even go
Shelton
back to Japan.
X Benjamin.
There you go. Yeah, that could work too. So we'll see what fucking happens. Um, but yeah, that happened. And I hope that the faction can work out. Maybe Street Profits rebound next week and they beat the fucking shit out of Oscar. I mean, I'm always down to see him get the shit beat out of him. So, that'd be pretty cool. Um, what else happened on SmackDown? Oh yeah, again, Theory and fucking Grayson Waller beat the Brawling Brutes, and I really feel bad for Sheamus's faction, and honestly, all three of these guys, except maybe Ridge, because Ridge will always kind of be on my shit list. But
Right, for Big E.
I mean, Big E, and then I think he almost injured Gargano, right? Or
Yeah,
was
well,
that
I
Ridge
don't know if
Moss?
I'd say almost. I think he actually did injure Gargano.
Jesus
It just
Christ.
wasn't as serious. Like, I think with Gargano, it was a stinger, and then Big E got a broken neck.
Yeah, oof, I know. Thank goodness Big E, well, is as okay as can be.
Who
So
was it that fucked up Ridge's knees? Who was it that dove onto Ridge and Ridge wasn't in the perfect position to catch? Was it Gulak?
it might have been Gulak.
I don't remember.
I honestly, I don't remember,
It
but
might have been
so is
Thatcher?
yeah, you know what? I think it might have been Thatcher, yeah. But just to keep things moving, yeah, Grayson Waller and Theory, they win. God, I hope they're not going to become a tag team. I don't know if I can. Actually, you know what? No. Make them a tag team so you consolidate all the suck and then get it done in one segment. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much that for me. And also, Jimmy Uso continues to be way too excited about things. Bro, I have never said these two words to anyone more unironically than I'm about to say them to you. Simmer down. What the fuck? Um, so yeah, that was essentially SmackDown. There's probably more that I'm forgetting, but does it matter? Probably not. Um, when it comes to Raw, I mean, God, what even happened on Raw? I'm sure Gunther did things. Oh, well, I know that Kevin, Sammy, and Cody had a little conference about Cody bringing Jay to Raw. And you know what? I liked how Kevin's character handled this. He was just like, you know what? I'm gonna trust you guys and whatever, but don't think that I'm crazy when I'm gonna point out to you guys how often Jay screwed you and me out of championship matches against Roman Reigns. Screw that guy. Um, Jay turning down the Judgment Day, so he has an enemy in them, as to be expected. When you send Dominic Mysterio to recruit somebody, you have to imagine you're not that serious, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
blame Jay Uso for being offended.
Yep.
Um, let's see what else. There actually was something I did kind of want to talk about. I think Becky's NXT Women's Champion. She actually won a tag match with Lyra Valkyria, and then she got attacked by Tiffany because they're gonna have an Extreme Rules match at No Mercy. Sure, that'll be great.
Isn't
Um,
that wasn't that was that tonight or is that next Saturday?
that's next Saturday.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh well, I guess Seth is still doing things with Nakamura. That's right, because Nakamura had a thing with Ricochet, because I guess Ricochet stood up for Seth or whatever. And so yeah, then Ricochet ended up getting DQ'd because Nakamura tried bringing a chair into the ring, and then fucking adult Caillou ass. Actually, no, that's more Corbin. Ricochet, he's just there. I mean, you lost to Logan Paul. Do I even need to come up with insults anymore?
You lost to
Um,
Logan Paul, and then your fiance had to announce him as the winner.
ooh, ooh, God. I mean, can't relate. So yeah, Ricochet ended up getting disqualified because he used the chair on Nakamura, but he was like, but he brought it into the ring. You used it. Learn how fucking wrestling works. You've been doing it forever. Christ. You know, for all the times that wrestling personalities talk about people like us talking about psychology and everything else, I'm starting to think we know better than you guys. I don't know. Uh, I'm just feeling salty right now. Um, oh yeah, what did Drew do this week? Oh yeah, he faced Jey Uso, right? And then that's right, because he walked out when Jay was getting the shit beat out of him by Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Drusev, what are you doing, baby? Besides turning heel. How do we feel about Drew going villain again? I don't really like it personally, but I'm curious if there are anybody biting on that, anybody being like, you know what, yeah, Drew's earned the right to be a dick for a little bit.
Uh, I will never feel that way.
Well, and given that our chat's pretty much dead, I'm not going to linger on the question. You know, this might be the easiest week in review because I think it's just you, me, and your mom here. I don't really think the
I mean,
Q&A segment.
to be fair, we do have 4 concurrent viewers. Oh, never mind. It's down to 2 now. Concurrent
Yeah,
viewers.
it is. Oh, believe me, I've been watching it. So yeah, Drusev is being like, you know, it's time I started hurting feelings, and I'm just like, okay, like whatever you got to do, man. So yeah, he abandons Jey Uso, and fucking Judgment Day going to it, but then Cody comes out. God, I really hate that Cody just can't stop like white knighting everywhere he goes. Like he's got to fix relationships. Oh, Sammy and Kevin just talk to each other. He's got to, you know, at least in his mind, end racism. By the way, Cody, you kind of failed on that. It's still sort of happening, you know, just a little bit. Now bailing out Jey Uso and standing by that decision. He even said in the promo to Kevin and Sammy, and I groaned hard. My job is to make the people happy. Why are people eating into this? I thought 2023 wrestling crowds were as cynical as we were. Did something happen? Like, because this got a pop. And I'm like, what are you doing? Don't co-sign this. He has deeper psychological needs that he's using us to fulfill. It's not healthy. Um, did Rhea do something with Natalia, or did I mishear? Because I feel like I heard we were reacting about that in the
No, it
Discord.
wasn't Rhea. It was Becky.
Oh yeah, Becky. Okay, that's right. Because Natalia apparently wanted a title shot or something, and it's like I thought NXT was supposed to mean next, as in the future, and yeah. So yeah, great. Yeah, I agree, 100%. Um, I don't know, man. Is there anything I'm forgetting from Raw that you'd even give a shit to talk about, or can we just keep moving
No,
on?
please move on.
Fucking sweet. Dynamite, who gives a shit. Oh, by the way, actually, there is something I will say in sincerity. Adam, I am so sorry that you got injured. I love you. I feel like he's been doing genuinely great work, and him walking out of the hospital with crutches, that's not good. That's not good. Because I know how much it meant to him, you know, to get back to action, you know, because he tweeted about it and obviously had that emotional promo, thinking, oh man, am I even gonna wrestle again? And then not only does he get to wrestle again, he gets his heat back. He's doing this great angle, or at least by AEW standards, certainly the best angle they've got going. Although Mogul Embassy has been doing those numbers, so way to go, Swerve. We see you.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, then because of the stupid fucking ramp or whatever the fuck, however the injury happened, you know, that's just now he's out for God knows how long. So that really sucks.
Yeah.
MJF versus Joe, harmless, I guess, but MJF choking Joe out, I'm sorry. And this is coming from a guy that defended MJF for a lot longer than he probably should have. That's laughable to me. And the idea that he used like either his tape or some kind of chain or whatever to do it, and
It
then
was the
Joe just
tag
shakes.
rope. It was a tag rope.
It was the tag rope, and then Joe just still shakes his hand afterwards. Like, kid, you got me. Like, no, no, refuse to accept this. If I'm Joe and I know that you used a foreign object to choke me out when I only need my bare fucking hands, fuck you, dude. I'm not shaking your hand. I'm not doing shit. Um, so you know that's that there. Fuck. Tony lost to Soraya. And I don't even give a shit. They're all toxic fucking people. Like honestly, I'm just gonna be truthful, and maybe I have no place to say this, but the women's division, I feel gross watching it because the women I like aren't even being used that well. And the women I don't like are in the positions of prominence and kind of monopolizing everything. So it's just, you know, I don't like it. I don't like how I feel when I'm watching it. Um, that's all I can really think about with Dynamite. I'm sure there's other stuff. Rampage, the only thing I really remember because I watched it actually in the last hour, I will say this, and I will give AEW and specifically the women because they deserve more love. Again, save for the toxic people. I like Julia Hart, man. I'm
Yeah,
gonna tell you.
she's
I watched
solid.
the I watched the clip of her in Sky Blue. Her stuff looks good in there. I obviously like the character. I love House of Black. The submission was great, and she's got great facial expressions. She almost and this is going to be a very high compliment given recent events. She was closer to being Bray Wyatt esque. Notice I said closer, not Bray Wyatt esque, than Alexa Bliss could have ever hoped to be.
Yeah.
Because there's a point where she hits like a spider plex, where they get like the superplex, but they hang on to the rope and then they just, do whatever. And she just kind of stays in like the hung position, like she tree of woed herself. And there's just this look on her face. It's just like this blank stare, but it's genuinely good. I'm like, wow. Like, I wish Bray would have gotten to work with a Julia Hart when he was around rather than Alexa Bliss, because maybe I wouldn't have hated it nearly as fucking much as I did. So yeah, big ups to Julia Hart. Just want to give her flowers. I think she's really solid. And apparently, here's the thing. She's undefeated so far this year, according to commentary. I think she's like 25-0. So
Wow, Jesus.
now, apparently, they want to dovetail this into her versus Statlander, and you know what? I'm open to it. I'm open to it. Do it. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Chris Statlander's awesome. And if you're not gonna like mix Julia Hart up with Soraya or whatever, cool. Just get her in there with fucking Statlander and have them make magic. I'm totally cool with that. Um, a tag team that I have never fucking heard of in my fucking life is the number one contenders for the ROH tag team titles. Um, okay, I was really kind of hoping it would be the Kingdom at this point, but then again, it may not even matter because again, Adam Cole is injured. We have no idea what's even going to happen with that. I wouldn't even be surprised if, because they're trying to do this weird MJF babyface thing, which hasn't been a complete failure, but to talk about it would be a whole separate commentary, and I don't have the interest or the inclination, and I sure as shit know this guy doesn't. Um, I could even see MJF like defending the titles by himself against this random ass fucking team just to keep the reign going. I don't know if they will. We'll have to see what they do. But I was really just thinking that it would be Taven, um, and Bennett, Taven and Bennett. See, the name came to me. I thought I was gonna have a brain fart there, and you'd have to come and rescue me, but I did it. So yeah, it wasn't Taven and Bennett. They lost. Hangman and the Bucks are the ROH six-man tag team champions. Okay, I like Hangman. Really haven't given a shit about the Bucks for seemingly 10 years, probably less than that, but it feels like a lifetime. Um, so that's whatever, I guess. And oh, Jesus Christ, this part. Sammy Guevara, now a part of the Don Callis family. Because that's another thing that happened on Dynamite that I actually just glossed over. Sammy and
Yeah.
Jericho had a match.
And Sammy
Sammy,
betrayed Jericho after they were hugging. He
yeah,
pulled
and
a Jericho on Jericho. Isn't wrestling so fun when it's overly referential, guys?
yeah. I know a lot of people were like creaming their underoos because they're like, they did WrestleMania 19. It was WrestleMania 19. Guevara is wearing Jericho's WrestleMania 19 gear, and they did the Michaels Jericho spot with the hug and the low blow. Again, don't be a Jimmy Uso. Simmer down. Okay, like the excitement is just insane. Okay, and God, do I even want to rant? Because I feel like we're making really great pace, and we can actually go home, maybe even by 11:30. Fuck it. We're here to make you guys content, so I'll give you some content. Fuck Sammy Guevara. Like, why did we even tease him going babyface? Like, this storytelling to me was so fucking convoluted because when you look at the relationship, which I don't give a fuck about, so I don't even know. I hate myself, I guess, which is why I'm talking about this extensively. Jericho was very clearly the dick for most of the relationship, but Sammy does one dickish thing after he loses a match, maybe because he's looking at this gelatinous old piece of shit and probably thinking, fuck that guy. And he's the heel. Now, the reason I don't give a fuck about this is because Sammy should have always been a heel. Like the idea that you were even teasing him being babyface, kind of ridiculous when we know his reputation backstage. I guarantee you that that marriage to Conti isn't going to last because I saw the video of him spending a good bit of their money on a vintage N64 that was like unopened, and she's fucking preggers pretty late into the pregnancy, and she's just like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing? I thought we were supposed to save money." Like, he's awful. Okay, he's awful. If I God, do I really want to be awful right now? I kind of do. I kind of do. If I was a Make a Wish kid and I was like, I want to meet, we'll even say Eddie Kingston, and they were like, we couldn't get Eddie Kingston, but we got Sammy Guevara. I would be really fucking pissed about it, and I would let them know it. Fuck this fucking dude. But yeah, he's apparently the heel now. We've doubled down, Ashton. It's official. Jericho's the babyface.
Do you know
Isn't
what
that
the
great?
worst thing to come out of this is?
That it's even happening? No, I'm just kidding. What's the worst thing to come out of it?
Kenny and Ibushi got sucked into it.
I I think I miss Omega in New Japan. Like, because here's the thing, even though I started to cool off on him towards the end of his New Japan run, knowing that he's doing this fucking shit, like,
Yeah. Yeah,
God,
Wrestle Dream. Wrestle Dream, we're getting Kenny, Ibushi, and fucking Jericho against I think it's Guevara, Takeshita, and Osprey.
yeah, yeah, I, no, no, just hard, hard fucking pass. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Um, and fucking yeah, Omega saves Jericho. And oh, by the way, Sammy's whole rationale was that he was sick of it. Jericho held him back, and a year ago it was
Oh,
fuck you,
right. Because
Sammy.
clearly, when you are angry that a mentor has been holding you back for the last 4 years, the natural reaction and response to that is to go find another older mentor to study under instead. That's the natural reaction there.
Yeah, I don't understand anything.
Oh
Um,
my fucking god.
I dude, it's so bad. Um, Beyond all of this, fucking Collision, we talked a little bit about it. Andrade lost to Jay White in a finish that even people in the YouTube comment section were dumping on. I think that's the only thing from Collision that I was able to watch. You barely paid attention, so you know what? I'm not even going to go fucking fishing for it. And with NXT, again, I already mentioned Becky and Lyra winning a tag match. I don't think I saw anything else. Is there anything in NXT that we even need to talk about? No? Great. So I'll tell you what. I don't even think there's anybody in this chat. We're down to two fucking people. Should we just forego Q&A this week?
I mean, we can open it and then just immediately do the going once thing.
Sure. I'm opening it now.
Caster
Oh my
Sales with a
god.
question. Story wise,
Oh
would it
my,
make
you know
sense
what?
for LA
Yeah.
Knight to help Cena? Story wise, fucking no.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. Um, but they will because LA Knight's a babyface and because, Cena was the referee for his match with Miz, and there's a very tenuous connection there. So, yeah, but it does make sense story-wise, no. Caster, you might be the only one here. So I guess any other questions within reason? Um, yeah, Bestie, he has COVID. We kind of talked about that earlier. It really just depends if he would be negative in time for Fastlane, which is an up in the air kind of question. I've already said that if he isn't negative, I could see Cody Rhodes being seen as tag partner. So, because it's like, oh, the super dream team to take on the bloodline, so great. I really hate Cody Rhodes. Let's see.
Do
All
you
right.
get it?
Wait, say that again.
I didn't say anything, man.
Oh, I thought you said I heard something in the distance, but regardless, it doesn't matter. Um, Going once, going twice. Oh, Bobby will show up at the Grayson show. Do you fear for the future? No. Um, because I mean we're already kind of in it. I just feel like the future is going to be more of the same. Um, Bobby will show up at the Grayson show. Show what? He's gonna be a guest on the Grayson Waller show. That's okay, I guess. I mean, if he recruits Theory and Waller to be his new guys, I mean, I immediately stop giving a fuck because, like, wow, the drop off between the fucking Street Profits to Waller and Theory is insane. It's a fucking sinkhole. And I should know we're trying to prevent one happening in my house. Like, I'm living in the extra room right now because we need to renovate my room to prevent a sinkhole. So I'm kind of an expert on the subject. Fuck Waller and Theory.
Nice.
Uh, Anyway,
So happy
did
that you have expertise in the subject.
I know. I was able to speak for both of us because you don't have anything you want to contribute, right? I'm trying to spare you the agony of having to talk about things you don't give a shit about.
I appreciate
So,
it.
yeah. So, again, going once, going twice, closing the gate. All right,
You
let's move
are
on to high spots, low
really
shot.
generous with the timing of those.
Yeah. Super Blue, I think he was supposed to help John Cena from getting mugged, but the Rona had other plans. The Rona apparently acknowledges our tribal chief, and Cena just got the fuck beat out of him by
Bro,
Jimmy Uso's
what is
little
this?
skull.
Like the third act of God that's helped Roman Reigns?
dude, you know, he donates to the collection plate twice. Like he's just like, thanks God, you the ones. Um, but yeah, no, I already closed the gate. I just did that to humor. So we're done. We're not taking any more questions. Save them. We have a Q&A literally in 5 days. You can hold it in. Like Light's laughter when he thought he was going to kill everyone, and unfortunately that didn't happen.
Gotta
Roman's
hold
Catholic,
it in.
so Roman Catholic. That's just a little on the nose there. It was a joke, man. Okay, I don't have parasocial relationships. I don't know these things. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You,
All right. High
you,
spots.
you, you don't need to apologize for not being parasocial, and you know it.
High spots and low shots. Low shots me because I live at a time where most wrestling fucking sucks. But in all sincerity, my low shot's gonna be probably the Street Profits because not only did they lose to a team with Oscar on it, who, spoiler alert, is fucking old. Lashley told them give back the suits, the watches, everything. So he seemingly is done with them, which that's really depressing to me for reasons that I've already noted and don't need to note again. But yeah, Street Profits, low shot. Who's your low shot?
Jericho.
Amazing. Amazing. Um, I think it's pretty self explanatory.
Actually,
High
no.
spot.
Jericho won the fucking match. So it's Sammy. Because he lost the match and then decided that the course of action was to betray one mentor figure to go to another older, worse one.
Yeah,
So my low shot Sammy Guevara.
he's a low shot in life, so it
Or as
actually
Javaris would
works.
say, bitch ass Sammy Guevara.
Yeah. All right. High spot. Actually, I will go with somebody that I didn't even talk about in my very quick, very full of holes like it was Swiss cheese recap of the week. Eddie Kingston for being a double champion because he's now the New
Ah.
Japan Strong Openweight champion and the ROH champion. He
Yes,
beat,
yes.
yeah,
Edius Kingstonius.
yeah, he beat Claudio partner and he's a double champion. Hey, look, I
And he's
actually like
from
Eddie.
Brooklyn.
He is from Brooklyn. He's walking
I
here to two
wonder if he hates
championships.
Claudio a little bit less now that he beat him for the ROH championship.
He's probably still hoping his sauce never clings to his pasta, but he's probably simmered a little bit, yeah. All right. I actually do like Eddie, to a point. I mean, I don't fully get like the fervor around the dude. He does seem like a very genuine dude, and that's cool. But like, I'm not ready for the bar to eat dirt. You know, I feel like that should just kind of just be the default setting, not just for wrestlers, but just for people. You know, chill out. You're on a planet that grows fucking food. Relax. Maybe dismantle capitalism. I don't know, but yeah, Kingston's doing cool things. Good for that dude. Um, who's your high spot?
That would be the LWO.
Nice. I mean, they ruined the dreams of two promising athletes. So yeah, it's a pretty great week for them. And they won. And Santos gets to curry even more favor with Oscar right before he plunges the knife in his fucking bag and takes that US title. Oh Christ. All right. Oh yeah, I didn't even ask. I'm guessing the answer was no. You didn't do any extracurriculars this week, right?
I don't think. Well, unless you count Skabon.
Yeah, we did that. Really nothing to say about that. I feel like we kind of,
Okay, then we're
at least
good.
for me, yeah. Sweet. All right. Then we're getting out of here, guys. And just before 11:30, fucking sweet. Be sure to like the videos, file out, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. And we're hoping to be back again for Stardom Monday at 4. If not, we'll probably just do a Tuesday at 10:30 recording, or Wednesday, whenever it gets up. And yeah, that should be the next recording. And then the only other big thing I can think of is we do have a Q&A this Thursday, 7 p.m. Be there or be a mark. Yeah, I haven't said it in a minute. I'm bringing it back. Deal with it. So yeah, that's happening. Get your questions in if you haven't. YouTube, Twitter, Discord. I personally really like Discord. It's $3 a month, and the Q&A channel I think is really nice and organized. My pin tweet hasn't been used in forever, and given the changes that seemingly are coming to Twitter, I may not even really be on there much longer. And I've already told Ashton so, because they might be charging all users now, and I'm not putting up with that. And I feel like, it just really hasn't been used in a while. So I would just say your best bet is YouTube or Discord. So that's just what I would recommend. If you haven't gotten your questions in yet, please do so. Again, that'll be this Thursday at 7 p.m. And yeah, that's it, guys. That was a really quick in review, as it should be, because this week sucked. Be better or be nothing. I honestly am starting to not care which. Until then, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy it. It's fall. It's beautiful. Pumpkin spice lattes and all that, or whatever the fuck. I had apple cider donuts today. Made me love life a little more. It was pretty fucking delicious. And yeah, we'll see you hopefully Monday for more Stardom goodness. Till then, be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in. Peace out.